A unique feature about the Dublin Historic Park is the relocated Cove Branch. So what is the significance of the buildings and how is their relocation benefit the community?
Well, I think a couple of things. The Cove Ranch was always part of Dublin. And I think a lot of people forget that because they look at 580 and they just assume that the Dublin boundaries of our city have always been on the other side of 580, to the north of 580. But in reality, Dublin extended south. The Cove Ranch was part of Dublin. It's on Dublin Canyon Road. The boundaries only changed when the freeway went through. So I think when you talk about the coves in Dublin, they're synonymous. And I think if you can't build a heritage park, without including the coves. I also think just to be true to the California roots in terms of our ranch heritage as a state. And, not only California but the entire West. And the fact that you've got an old ranch intact in terms of the buildings, I think really make it quite an amenity. And I also think the fact that for the park, we were going to build the park anyway without the cove structures, so we were going to need to build classroom space. We were going to need to build a black box theater, restrooms, all of these things. Why not use actual historic buildings to do the things that you were going to do anyway? It's much better than trying to build some historic replica or a revisionist. Use the actual history. So I think really having the cove structures there make a lot of sense. And it also was a tremendous cost savings because of the fact that we were able to consolidate phases and do more up front right now in this economy when costs are lower. So there's just a lot of advantages of doing that.
Okay. Now, starting with the acquisition of the Dublin Heritage Center, and now with the construction of the Dublin Historic Park, the city has shown that it places value in preserving the history of the city. Do you agree with that statement?
Absolutely. I think Dublin has always been a city. We're always, moving forward, looking ahead, but we're proud of our past and wanting to preserve our past for future generations and as people. And I think the other thing is not just for Dublin, but the entire Tri-Valley region. I mean, this is the Dublin, Historic Park, but the heritage there is really for an entire region, capturing the region. And Dublin and those crossroads there at Dublin Boulevard and Donlan Way was kind of where the catalyst for the beginning of the development of the Tri-Valley. So I think this park captures that history, for the entire region. So we're really proud of that.
Okay. Now I'm going to add actually one more quick thing in here. As far as the timeline and the planning and actually bringing the building there, do you think that the city kind of moved it, was it pretty quickly how everything kind of came into play, or?
Yeah, the city moved forward with an aggressive timeline because we really wanted to make this happen. I think part of it also, again, well, there's a couple of factors. The Cole family, in order to secure the properties, we had to locate the properties at this time because they're going to be, selling the property and they needed to, move these structures. So if we were going to make this happen, the timing had to be quick. So we had to move, and we did because we didn't want to lose the ability to bring some of these amenities into that park. So I think that helped us accelerate the timeline, in addition to the fact that one of the positives of the down economy is that you can move things, get things done now cheaper, so in the long run it was actually a tremendous cost savings. So I think those factors allowed us to want to move this project a lot forward quicker.